Welcome everyone to the second part of our Unreal Master Material tutorial series. In this video, we'll be going over controlling our PBR values such as roughness, metallic, and ambient occlusion to make the most of our material and to give us fluid controls over what we'll be creating. Please let me know what you think of these videos and leave a like and a comment of what you would like to see in the future. Enjoy! Hi, welcome back to our Master Material tutorial series. In this part, we'll be over controlling our normals and our PBR values and adding a lot of other cool tricks and tips to make our material as functional as possible. Let's get started and head back into material. Before we do anything, I would like to go in and just clean this up a little bit to make sure that we can see what we're doing. So we're just going to select all of this and right click and comment, and we just call it this base color. Okay, and this will give us a clear indication of what this string of nodes is doing. Now, our next line of action is our normal map. So as you can see, we've already imported our normal map and our PBR values map in the previous episode. So let's get started with our normal. Right click, and we want to turn it to a parameter, and we just want to call it normal. And just as previously, we'll set a group and we'll call it normal. From here, from the previously created UV controls, we'll plug in the multiply node into the UV slot of the normal texture sample. This will control the UV tiling and scaling, just same as in the base color texture map. From now, the next thing we want to do is mostly the only thing we'll be doing here is controlling our intensity of the normal map. This is very easy. There is a few ways to do it. It depends on what you prefer. I'll show you another way, but if you know a different selection of nodes that can serve the same purpose, please feel free to do that. So we'll grab our RGB output from the normal texture sample, and we'll type in component mask. Okay, so the way this is set up is perfect for us. We don't really need to do anything here. But if you don't know what this node is, it'll basically just mask out any channel that you give it. We just want to grab RG for now. So now we right click, multiply, plug it into the A slot. We want to click 1 on our keyboard and press anywhere in the material editor to create a constant. Right click, convert to parameter, and we'll call it normal intensity right off the bat. Put a group on it, and we want to set the default value to 1. Plug it into our B slot. This will control the intensity of our normal map. And here, what we need to do is we need to bring in the RNG, the red and green channels back together with our blue channel. So to do that, we'll take append vector, plug our multiplication node into the A slot, and then take our blue channel and plug it back here. You can add some reroute nodes by double-clicking on any sort of string over here, and you can move around as you like to make it a bit more legible and understandable for whatever you're doing. And this is mostly what controls your normal map intensity. But there might be scenarios where you want to get another normal map, a detailed normal map, onto your tiling material. For example, you want some dirt, or you might want some weathering or some grunges applied, and you want to do it independently of your original normal map. In order to do that, it's pretty simple, but we want to give the user the control to turn it on and off. So just as same as here, what we'll do is we'll make a switch parameter and ask ourselves, because it's very important to ask yourself questions in this case, because it gives you a true and false answer. So we'll plug the false into just our good old standard normal map. And from what we'll do here is we need to bring in a node called detail texturing. And this is very nice because it does most of the hard work for us. So right off the bat, we plug it into the normal, and then we can work from here. So firstly, we want to control the scale of our detail normal. So 1 on the keyboard and click anywhere in the material editor, convert to parameter, and detail normal scale. And you can put it to whatever you like at the start. Let's say 2. It doesn't really make much of a difference, but it's a good starting number, I found. We want to press once again, convert to parameter, and detail normal intensity. Plug this right here, and we want to set this to 1. And just remember to set the group as you would with any other nodes. So the last thing we need to do here is just input our normal map that we want to use. So what you would usually do, texture sample parameter 2D, but you can see it's not liking this. This is the reason that you need to use a texture object rather than a texture sample. Okay, so you can plug this right into here and turn it into a parameter like any other one. So that will be a detail normal, and that will work on a pretty similar manner as this. And this is all for our detail normal and our normal control. There's nothing else we need to do here. So we are ready to more or less plug this into our material. Last thing we'll do is we'll put a comment. So you can select everything and press C on your keyboard. And just type code normal. From this, we can just plug it into the normal value in our master material output, and we should be good to go. So now let's go over controlling our PBR values in our material. This will be a bit more complicated, but however, I think it's good to spend time on this because it will really change the way your material looks. So firstly, what we'll do is we'll start working on the roughness. So in our material, I've packed the roughness into the red channel. There are many different ways of doing it. I like packing RMA. It's just the way I've been doing for an extremely long time. But you can also pack the roughness value into the green channel, which is, in theory, the way you're supposed to do it. That is because the human eye sees more detail in green rather than in blue or in red. That's why the green channel in every image has more bits rather than in any other channel. So if you want to do it the proper way, then I recommend packing the roughness into the green channel. But just for the sake of this tutorial and for the material I prepared, we will just go over our RMA, so roughness, metallic, ambient occlusion map. One more thing that we need to always check is to make sure in our pack textures the sRGB value is switched off, because it will give us inconsistent results with the sRGB option ticked on. So remember, always after importing to turn this off. Right, let's get started. From our packed roughness channel, we'll drag out a node, and we can just type in multiply. It's just a quicker way to do it. 1 on the keyboard and anywhere in the material editor, current constant, convert to parameter, and we'll call it roughness node. Make this slightly bigger, and we'll set the default to 1. Make a group for this, so call it roughness. There we go. So after we're done making a controller for roughness, we want to make a backup one in the case that you do not have a roughness map for your material. And this is quite a simple but hacky way to do it. So what we will do here is we'll create a constant, call it roughness power. We're going to set that to 0.04762. we want to create a power node, plugging into the exponent. And from here, what we want to do is grab the red channel of our base color. So that will give us like a grayscale value that could be representative of the roughness. And it's just pretty much a nice sort of simple way to imitate a roughness map. We want to convert this and plug it into our false slot. And that will give us a very hacky but usable roughness map in the case that we do not have a dedicated roughness map. So the next up is our metallic, which is very simple. The general rule of thumb is that something is either metallic or it isn't. That's the theory. However, we will just create a control for this in material just to make sure that we do have flexibility if we need to change anything around in a metallic map. So we'll drag up from the green slot where we've packed our green channel, but you can pack it anywhere you like. And we'll type in multiply. We'll create a constant parameter, call it metallic intensity, set the default value to 1. We'll make a switch in the case that we do not have a metallic map. And we'll make parameter and just call it metallic. Okay, and we just want to set our groups to metallic. Same here, we just want to make sure it's all nice and neat. Great, fantastic. Put a comment on this. Call it metallic. And we can plug this guy into our metallic slot. Great. So we can see the default is false. We set our metallic parameter to 0. So therefore it shows up nicely. We can control this however you like. So we can see all that works. So the final thing is we just need to control our ambient occlusion, which is a very simple setup. So what we need to do is from where we packed our channel for the AO map, drag out, type in power, make a constant, convert parameter, AO intensity, set the default value to 1, and plug it into our ambient occlusion slot. Make a comment on a section, just call it AO, make group in the material editor, call it AO. And from what I can see, we have successfully plugged in all of our PBR values channels into its corresponding functions. And I can see the material is displaying correctly. So we have completed successfully this part of the material. We'll save this. And we'll check out our material instance to make sure it's all working nice and correctly. As you can see, we still have been playing around from the last time with our material. Everything is still working nicely. So let's try playing around with the normal. As you can see, it's working as intended. You can decrease and decrease the normal map as you see fit. So one thing that we have made incorrectly is setting the default value on our roughness map, because most of the time you will have a roughness map. So we need to go back into our main material and on the roughness map, say that yes, default, we do have a roughness map. Let it compile. And if we go back into our material, you can see now it works with the normal map provided, but the grout is more rough than anything else. Let's check out our detail normal. So let's put something else that is an actual normal map into here. See, that's working. However, our original normal map is not working correctly. So we have made a mistake from somewhere, and I can see the mistake we have made is we need to plunk the append node into our normal here and save here. So if you go back into your master material, you have the normal, and where you appended the red and green and blue channels together, drag out into the normal slot of your detail texturing. And as you can see, it all working nice and well. It's not necessarily the most beautiful thing in the world, but it does its job. And one more thing we forgot to do is set the detail normal group to normal. So we can save that. And there we go. It's all of our values are put here together. We don't have a metallic map on this object, so we want to switch that off. But if we want, we can see that it's working. Okay, guys, so this is more or less the most basic master material for what you need to do in an Unreal Engine. In the last part of the tutorial that I'll record soon, we'll be going over adding some world tiling grunges to your materials. That'll be kind of nice to add a bit of wear and tear to your materials without doing another texture or another material. It's super simple to implement, and it does make it quite easy to control your materials and add just a bit of variation to them. So I hope you enjoyed this part of the tutorial. If you have any comments, suggestions on how I can improve these videos, please do let me know. And yeah, take care and have a nice day.